Okay, somebody had asked about one of those little accordion style, I don't know, books. Gosh, I haven't made one of these in years and years and years. We used to make them for tags, but she had gotten one that was sized for an ATC. Now, I didn't size one for an ATC. I just used my little coin envelope that makes this little thing here because my ATC envelope I can't get to right now. But all you'd have to do to make one for an ATC is just measure it and cut it to size, and that would be it. This is the base that's going to cover it once I get the pages glued in, and then it'll fold over and it'll close with a magnet. And these are the little pattern papers that I done for it. So this is not so much a tutorial how to do this particular one, because you'd have to have the same little coin pocket, so much as it was to put one together. She didn't understand how it was put together. And I'm kind of doing this based on what I remember from how we used to do them. And actually, I think I need to put the glue on the side that has the little... You only want the adhesive that you're using in like the center area. And see, these had that little divot that was already cut out in them, so I didn't have to worry about using a punch and doing the little half round thumb pull circle thing. So, and then you just put your glue on each subsequent one. And you wouldn't have to actually have a bottom in them because you're going to have a bottom from the cover, but I just kept the coin envelopes like they were, put them together, and the only thing different I did was the flap. Instead of cutting it off, I just turned it and glued it to the inside just to make that part a little sturdier, just a little more substantial, was the only reason. Because I was using a little lighter weight cardstock. I think this was only the 65-pound white Nina that I used to make these with. But you just want to glue them in the middle so that when you put stuff in them, see, that's how then it expands out. So you just glue the middle. So now I am going to, well, let's see, before I do that, let that set up a minute, because we're only going to put, have to remember how all my pieces I cut. I'm only going to put the patterned paper on the outer sections of this one. And all I did here was just some scrap pattern paper and cut it to fit the sections I wanted to cover. And then I used the edge of my scissors and kind of scuffed up the edge of the paper and then rubbed the Distress ink pad over it. And that was all I did for that. And I put a magnet for the closure, so that's one reason that with having the magnet there, I want the magnets covered, because I never leave a magnet exposed when I do a paper craft project, for fear that for some reason a child might get a hold of it. So hopefully with that paper covering it, it's not something they would see and want to pick off from there. And then this one goes here. They're super easy to make, and the nice thing is you can either make your little envelopes or little pouches to go in them, or you can use a variety of pre-made ones. I have not made one with anything larger than 5x7, or is it 5x7 or 6x8? Whatever that manila folder envelope thing, not folder, but envelope size is that you use for mailing. I made one that size before for a swap, long time ago. But I have seen pictures on the internet of them made with as large as like the 9x12 manila envelopes, and then they would put artwork in them and stuff like that. So kind of cool. Okay, now everything is ready. See, that's how the little folder will do. Now, the only thing different I did is I did a rounded top. You can do just a straight top. It would be, the reason you have this a little higher is because I'm actually going to use this one and make some tags to go in the pockets. And that way, see, I got extra space there for the tags to stick up out of the pockets. And if I wanted like little, you know, ribbons or whatever on the tops of them. So that's the reason for that. But most people just do this as a straight piece. I just like do, and how you achieve this rounded effect is you just go in and you create little 1/8 of an inch score lines, and it creates kind of a ribbed effect, and then allows you to have a rounded lid or top on something instead of it always being the flat like that one at the bottom is. So let's see, now we want to put the glue in the center area, and when you glue this in, I'm going to have to turn this way, you want to make sure that you are not covering that score line from that. I've only got about a 1/16 of an inch on either side of this, so I had to make sure I wasn't going over. But you want to be able to see that score line from the bottom there. So you don't want that covered up. And then just be sure that it is going to be flush, because you're not going to glue there. You're only going to glue on the front and back pieces. You don't have to add any glue to that bottom. And then pull this up. Make sure that it's flush. Make sure the side is flush. Press it into place. And there's your little book. And like I said, I'm going to have tags in it. So then as I do the tags and add things to it, then you'll see it'll kind of accordion and expand out. And that's how the sides look. It has that accordion look to it. Just like those great big accordion box style things that I still have a couple of them out in my studio. But this is just a miniature version of it. And then you can add other foo-foo and things like that to it. But they're just kind of neat, and we used to do them in swaps, and I hadn't done one in a long time. But I am going to do one for my Twinchies, because I have gotten back into making little Twinchie art, which is just 2x2 art, where an ATC is 2.5 by 3.5. So I bought this die years ago. It's a Sizzix die, and it makes this little envelope. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my envelopes together. And the reason I bought the die is, you'll notice it was perfect for putting my Twinchies in when I would do them for swaps. So that's how I used to do them, when we would just swap 1 or 2 Twinchies at the time, that sort of thing. But I'm going to put the whole envelope together, then go back and cut out only on one side a little thumb pull tab by just putting the punch up in there, punch the hole, and you're only going to punch part of the hole, not the whole, you know, circle. You just want that. So when I get this one all put together, or I might get it all ready and then show y'all how it works, but it will house some little Twinchie art, just the same way as this one's going to have tags. But all you have to do is have either an envelope or make you a little pouch for ATCs, and it'll hold ATCs the same way. But that's just how easy they are to make and put them together. Hope that helped. Thanks, y'all. Bye.